Tonight, we're taking a closer look at one of our big stories. President Obama went to his hometown of Chicago to confront an out-of-control issue. Too many people dying because of gun violence. People like 15-year-old Hadiya Pendleton, a Chicago girl who was killed 1 week after performing at the president's inauguration. Police say she was shot dead by gang members. And take a look at this map, folks. Each one of these red dots that you see behind me, it represents a person killed in Chicago last year with a gun. There were more than 440 gun homicides. This afternoon, President Obama pushed Congress to vote on tougher gun control laws, but he says that's only part of the solution.
This is not just a gun issue. It's also an issue of the kinds of communities that we're building. And for that, we all share responsibility as citizens to fix it. We all share a responsibility to move this country closer to our founding vision that no matter who you are or where you come from, here in America, you can decide your own destiny. You can succeed if you work hard and fulfill your responsibilities.
Our next guest, Ron Davis, knows exactly what it's like to lose a child to gun violence. His son, Jordan, was killed last year in a fight over loud music. I want to welcome Ron Davis and his attorney, John Phillips, to Evening Express. Gentlemen, it's good to see you. And Ron, I just have to ask you, the president is making a push trying to get a vote on gun laws. Do you think that's going to happen soon? And do you think that's going to change things with gun deaths around the country?
I think it's going to happen soon because the nation wants it to change. The nation wants it to happen. So Congress can fight with the president all they want. But, I think their constituents are going to press the Congress to go ahead and help President Obama go ahead and draft some federal laws regarding the gun issue.
And Ron, you have turned a story of absolute tragedy into something incredibly positive because you become an advocate. You went to Washington, you met with politicians. Tell us what you told them about what needs to happen with our gun laws today.
Number one, it should be federal. The state-by-state guidelines are too iffy. Somebody has a gun in Georgia and the rules are different in Alabama and the rules are different in New York. And I just personally think that it should be nationwide, should be a federal law, and we should all be standard bearers. In other words, we should all go by whatever the federal government decides that we need for inspections of guns and, any sale of guns, whether it be through a gun shop or sell from a family member, they should all have a federal guideline attached to it.
Okay. And John, so the response a lot of people have to that, especially people who don't want to change some of the federal laws, is, hey, states should rule this. They should have control, and why don't we enforce what's already on the books? Why doesn't that work, in your opinion?
The problem is it's kind of like driver's licenses. You can drive in Oklahoma, you can drive in Alabama with a California license, and we're getting to the point where you're allowed to do that with guns. You can have an open carry in Arizona, you can have a concealed carry in Florida, you can in New York City. And so to compare the two, you're completely changing up what the state's intent was to try to turn it into a driver's license situation, and now we're arming up everybody. There are as many guns as people are in this country, and it's only getting worse.
Yeah, some 300 million guns on the streets. And you know what I think people really want these days? They just want to vote. They just want to know what our politicians are going to do on all this. It's part of what the president, I think, was trying to push today. Now, Ron and John, thank you so much. And Ron, I know tomorrow would have been Jordan's 18th birthday. Our condolences to you. We're committed to staying on this story. I'm going to be down in Florida in the coming weeks, Ron, to speak to you, also to speak to you, John. And I want to let folks know we've reached out to Michael Dunn's family and lawyer. Michael Dunn, the man accused of shooting Jordan over loud music. We've reached out to them repeatedly. We haven't heard from them yet, but I welcome them on Evening Express anytime. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
We're going to send you one of these wristbands, Ryan. Thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, every night at this time, money expert Clark Howard, he is here and